Sarah, Aaron, thank you so much for joining us today. How are the two of you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic. Really excited about the impending Ultimate Hawaii Trail Run that's coming up here in the coming months in September. For people who don't know about this event that has been well publicized in the CrossFit community in the past couple of years, what is it and how did it start?
Well, it's an event that raises money to fund our programs that give environments to kids that are safe over here. Mm-hmm. And to be able to teach them about, we have a massive drug problem over here that it's over the top. And it was originally like the idea was to be able to give these kids the education about what's going to try and kill them, you know? So over here on the island, it's kind of, you know, you think it's a beautiful island and it's paradise, but it has the deadliest drug problem ever because the environments here that we struggle with as kids growing up are not threatening. We're down at the beach with our uncles, and those are the guys that we're like looking up to, and they're bums in the pavilion, you know, and it's saturated down there. So but I go down there and it's not a threat. My uncles are smoking weed, drinking beer, you know, there's cocaine, there's all this stuff. And nowadays we have meth and fentanyl and all that, those other drugs that have it's gotten progressively really bad over here. It's just so bad. And our suicides and, you know, overdoses and broken homes it's just shattering the community. And it's, the Hawaiian community that I grew up with is basically right now, it's on a shoestring. It's just hanging by threads with the amount of money that's coming in here. And there's nobody really doing anything about it to actually help these kids go through this, you know, and the gyms and the programs that we have, it's all year round. It's not just like a football game or a football season or a soccer season. These programs are for the kids, for us to be with them all year round and help carry them through the deadliest part of from like the age of 11 to 18 so that we can give them a running start at life. And that's the purpose of the whole program. And the trail run has been funding that for the kids. And it's, you know, we have had hundreds of kids, you know, successfully survive the environment over here and are thriving because of what this trail run does.
And you kind of touched on the roots of it. And anyone who's watching this at home, you can see the big Keala Foundation branding in the back. Can you speak to a little bit to those programs that the Keala Foundation focuses on? Because you mentioned that the trail run is the primary fundraiser for that, but without getting too far into it, I was amazed at some of the programs that you guys have when I was able to actually go out there and visit.
Yeah. So on island, we have had environments created in the affiliates, right? So Aaron founded CrossFit Poipu and opened his doors and had kids coming in, realized, wow, we need a fundraiser. Mm-hmm. That became the trail run. And then the program really took shape, right? It was, oh, wow, kids are always in here when the doors are open. And so the Keala Foundation took shape. And what that is it became a program that first at CrossFit Poipu and now at CrossFit Kekaha, and soon to be again at CrossFit Anahola, the kids can come. It's a free after school fitness program. And that has always looked a little bit, it's had its ebbs and flows of, you know, we pick up kids from school when transportation was allowed and in larger groups. And, you know, we pick up from school, bring them to the gym, put them through a workout, feed them a nutritious meal and drop them off at their home. So it was a door-to-door. Some kids used it as a ride home from school, but you came through our environment, and fitness was that catalyst to getting them in the gym and getting them in front of the right people and giving them these positive affirmations and communities and safe places that you can just come and belong here. And
it's a home, basically. The programs are basically, it becomes a home for kids that don't, a lot of these kids have broken homes.
And so we now have 4 opportunities in each location a day, Monday
we also
Monday
have
through Thursday.
A jiu-jitsu that runs 3 days, pretty much all week too. There's in 2 other towns in the Kekaha and in Hanapepe, which has been, we've had a couple of jail guards that work at the prison that are actually running it, and they're running really great, and they just give their time. They just said, hey, we want to do this. and we support them, and they're just crushing it right now.
And they're separated. The CrossFit classes are, an elementary age and a middle and high school age, right? We all know the difference in not only functional fitness and what they're capable of. Like our middle school and high school class are PRing grace times, right? Like they are PRing benchmark workouts and going through some CrossFit workouts that are great. And for those that haven't been exposed yet, we know every child could be exposed to what is going on this island. We want, like Aaron said, to catch them early enough, to give them the tools and resources to know how to say no, how to look the other way, how to be like, hey, bud, like, that's not cool. Let's come here, right? And be that bigger person and the leader within their community. But some kids are in it for the fitness, right? Like it's a catch-all for youth on island. And it's a wonderful place to be. And it's contagious. If you come in there and you see kids working hard and overcoming things that they'd never thought they could do. And some run barefoot, some are decked out in gear, and it's a great place to be. It's a great environment.
And you can also see, like, when kids come in, like new kids come in, they're just their body composure, they're and then by the time in a month or so down the road, you can just see when they come in, they're just so like, their chest is open, they're up, they're like real, just excited. And it's,
look what CrossFit did for all of us, right? I mean, it's confidence boosting, like we've invested in that. And so to be able to give and invest in a program that provides that for the youth it's wonderful. And to see the results right in front of you, especially living on island and being here. And the trail run is that opportunity that not only brings the local community together to celebrate this, it's an opportunity for people to come that may have never heard of us or have been donors for life at this point, and getting to see the program at work and see their friends and hang out with Aaron Hoff and do something crazy. Right. And so it's really fun. And it's been an experience up until, say, 2019 was our last in-person event, and 2020 took a dip, and we with the world, and we went virtual, and we had just as many paid registrants. And so it was such a wonderful thing that people knew that this program needed to survive and participated from anywhere in the world. And so this year it's really, really figuring out what we want that experience to look like for people as they come on island, as they participate from home. What is it just this mirror of what everyone expects from years prior? So just with everything, there's some change, and we're excited to deliver a pretty fun week and welcome the people that can come here, right? We understand people that have come forever may not even be able to come. But it also, there's a lot more people that will get to come, and the local community is so on board. In the last year of things staying very isolated here and not a lot of people getting to come, is that they saw our work continue. They saw the opportunities for the youth.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting this year because everybody's chomping at the bit. There's no events happening in Hawaii.
Right.
So it's like, whoa. I'm going to have to make the course really, really simple to slow people down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It is very easy for people to identify problems. It is a different thing for them to identify a problem than to actually do something about it. What motivated you to want to do something about the problem that you saw in your local community?
Well, I got sober at 23 over here. I was a meth addict, drugs. I was typical bottom. Is you have people wanting to kill you. The only people who want anything to do with you is cops that are looking for you. You're, people who want their money back in this whole situation. And then when I got sober, I had a heavy experience. It was just like I was suicidal, and then Christmas Eve, I was in a treatment center with about 50 people in a place, and real bad environment, you know what I mean? But it was the most beautiful place for me. And I was just like, God, if you're real, you need to come now, because I can't. There's no way I see an out. And then this peace came over me, and this voice said, Aaron, you're going to be okay. And then from there, it was like I had my glasses on backwards my whole life, and I actually put them on correct. And I could really see in clarity what the problem was. And so this program started 24 years ago, and it's been a labor of love. My passion is to help people, and especially this community, what I have grown up in over here is so special, because it's an island, it's like a village, and it's like, everybody. And so I've watched, like when I got sober, I couldn't hang out with my friends because they're all using, and I was 23. So I grabbed kids and started running around with them. And I was taking them, just running them to the ground. And then I watched them hit a certain age and start to get picked off. And then I started to say, man, I was like, there's something, I got to do something for this. And, I tried to take them to AA meetings, and and they were just, it's all full of old people. And it's just like, dude, this sucks. I don't want, so I would lose their attention. And then and also my friends too, they wanted help. It was just not an environment that was attractive. And then, so then I got into CrossFit. That's a whole nother story. Like I almost drowned in Bali. I went over there, surfed, almost drowned. And then I came up to the top of down the coast and got up to the top of the cliff. I'm all, God, I'm either going to become the fat uncle or you're going to help me get fit. And then that was it. And then I came home, and my friend Kai Garcia, I don't know if you guys know him. He's a well-known surfer guy up on the North Shore. And he got sober, and he called me to Hawaii. He's like, hey, come over. I just got sober. I want you to come hang out with me. So I go support him. And then I got into CrossFit over there, and I was just like, dude, I had rhabdo the first week, like my friends and us would love to see each other suffer. So they just ran me. And I was just like, bro, this is legit. I can do this, and I'm just crawling on the airplane to get home. I go to the CrossFit there. I start doing CrossFit, bringing the kids with me and my friends and stuff. And I'm watching these kids. I'm watching this bond be created through the suffering that we go through in CrossFit. And that was the bridge that I recognized. I thought, this is the key right here. I need to. So within a year of CrossFit, I was opening a gym. I failed the level 1 the first time. I was like, this test is stupid. I was going to name the gym something else. And then I tried one more time, and I actually studied, passed it, and then got the gym going. And CrossFit Poipu, that was the very, very start of it. And then within like 6 months later, I was talking to Greg. I was having dinner with them, and I told him, dude, I got to raise money for these kids, because I'm paying for it. It's basically, I funded the thing for years, the whole gym and the kids and all that, and the trail run. It was a huge financial, but I didn't care because I saw what was possible with this. And then Greg helped me with it. He's like, so here, whatever you need your help. And he wrote me a check, and we got it going. And over the years, he was just, he funded me the 2 gyms over here. Mm-hmm. And, it's, and then now we're here at this year. So it's like, that's kind of the history of it. And the whole purpose is like, the people I watched, I'm watching my families just die over here. Like literally, my nephew passed away a year ago from struggling from addiction. And I have so many of my friends that have committed suicide, and I'm like this go-to guy for sobriety and family problems and trauma over here. And it's a constant barrage that I just see happening over here that nobody's doing nothing about it. The state, the county, they don't know what to do. It's such a huge problem. Mm-hmm. But I did know, what spoke to me was just like, I got to just keep doing a little bit each day, and something great will become from it, and this is where I'm at today, and all it is me getting up in the morning, getting a little bit done, talking, and it's just, and it's hard work. It's like ministry or whatever, helping people and creating this. It is the hardest work because you have no idea where you're going. Yeah. It's still like that today. We have visions of a huge camp for kids that's coming up. It's like an intervention camp that we're creating. Mm-hmm. That'll probably be, and there's never been a camp like this created for, especially on Kauai. And there's a lot of just walking in faith going into this. It's just like, something's telling me to go this way. And I've been following that for 10 years now, 24 years. And it's a lot of good has come from it. And there's a lot of families that have gotten their parents back, their kids back, mm-hmm. because I've kept making this push forward, and it's, and I'm nothing special. I'm just a person that's trying to do good, and I just don't give up. Yeah. Every day, get up. That's all it is. That's the recipe. And sooner or later, you'll accumulate a lot of good things done.
You certainly have done that. I will say, I was lucky enough to go out in 2019 and see the last iteration in person. And you mentioned here we are now, and Sarah, you touched a little bit on what the experience might look like. Can you kind of shine some light on what like the week of the Ultimate Hawaiian Trail Run kind of looks like experience-wise, maybe even in years past, and some things that you guys are working on for this year?
Mm-hmm. So part of coming here that most people think they're coming for, right, is this another like tally on their rad CrossFit event experiences, right? Like Wadapalooza and the games and regional, like all these things over the last few years or the last decade. And the biggest surprise is when you leave, like how much you value the community that you're in and the program that you're affecting, again, seeing it at work. And so the big expectation, I think, has been, oh, wow, you come, you work out with athletes that have been brought over by like large sponsors, and there's just been so much support there. And then you run in this untouched land that we get access to from the Knutson Trust and Garden Island Motorcycle Club that helps cut the trail. But like you can't just go up there on a hike in any other day that you're here. And so you go up there, you run a course that you believe to be a certain distance, and yet you get done and you're like, that was like 10K and it was supposed to be the 5K. That was double. And that's like a small part of it, right? That's a small part of going up. And then the mud pit at the end, there's photos on photos of, just people drenched in this mud. And so you think that, wow, I want to go there and experience that. And I think a lot of the stuff that happens is actually in the off time of the run during the week, right? It's at CrossFit Poipu. You're working out with your friends that you've only been like Instagram friends with. And now you're meeting and getting to share a barbell and deadlift together, but do it alongside big CrossFit Games athletes or anyone for that matter. And what's really cool is that status and titles just get stripped away for the week. And everyone is just human and in the same community that we're all just in daily and pouring into the program here. So it's a week of fitness, community, networking, and the program, right? Getting to see what you're giving to and seeing it at work. And so events there's been a toss up of seminars, right? Specific seminars such as like Pyro Monkey seminar, or Smart Gear seminar, like Kalipa comes and talks, and a variety of those throughout the week that become fundraising opportunities, right? People can sign up for them, giving back more. There's a week of drop-ins at CrossFit Poipu, CrossFit Kekaha. And then there's always a kids showcase that happens. And that is that's the moment. Again, people think they're coming to run in the mud and they're like, no, my favorite part of the week was Friday. The kids have their own little competition, whether they're paired with a coach, which is usually, it could be an athlete. It could be like my mom who comes on island and she is just a new person to them. And then she's motivating them and encouraging them and seeing that someone's in their corner, right? Seeing that someone in this community believes in them and they're in the arena and everyone's on the outside cheering them on and seeing what they're made of and seeing the hard work that they've put in all year. And so that happens Friday alongside, registrations and pickup and the gathering of the good vibes kind of start that Thursday leading into Friday. And then Saturday morning you hit the trail muddy. And then on Saturday evening,
the trails it's going to be really special this year.
coming from you, man. That means, I love it.
It's either going to be a beautiful walk or a moment of hell.
I love it.
You can have it either way you want it.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
So you've always seen some kind of dinner as well after. And so there in the past, there's been like adventures and, go out on a boat and go do this. And so I think this year we're
pulling it back to like, I'm going to really make it special. We're going to bring it like it's going to be really pulled back to like the way it was when I was raised, when I went to a luau, like a real genuine luau. Right. Like we're going to cook the stuff in the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's not going to be a hotel. Like it's just, we want locals to come back to it too. Like we want it to just be this, because we all just suffered together out on the trail. Like you don't need to impress anyone anymore by having something fancy and buttoned up and just tent and tables and buffet style, like auntie's cooking.
Dude, you could come like, I think we're going to cook it on the Monday. My boys are going to you could go over there and help them. And I'm telling you,
see where it like locally
barely understand a word out of their mouth, but they'll just go all in love. There's some thick Hawaiians that are just, yeah.
Oh, I love it. You kind of touched on some, like when you mentioned like the kids showcase, like to me, you basically described word for word, like what the transformative piece was for me back then is, you know, you come to this beautiful place and we hear about it in the community, and then you go into that, like that showcase, and I was blown away by, you know, there's athletes and stuff helping coach, but like, there's also like this urge that you want to get in there and be a part of, and you want to support too. Like, I remember like running out there and just like tapping in, like, hey, I want to help coach, and people just wanting to jump in, and the look on the kids' faces when they're realizing that all these people are there to like, you know, support them and lift them up and like, yeah, believing in them. And then there's like probably my favorite part was the dodgeball, game that went on at night. And it was like, we talk about like putting everyone on the same ground, you know, and everybody's out there like slipping and sliding and like firing dodgeballs at people. And the kids are just like absolutely loving it. And quite frankly, like beating the stuffing out of most of us because we haven't played in forever. But it was just awesome. And it's hard to put into words like what that is like in that moment. And I don't know, it's just, you want people to experience it for sure.
It definitely, like a lot of people, when they come here, they think they're going to be giving and they walk away with more than, you know, they're given something that's so special. And that's like Hawaii and the aloha spirit. And that is just something that you can only get by experiencing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just being like accepted unconditionally right where you're at, just loved, just come in, we're here. That's what it's like the village life, you know, it's like being raised, you know, it's like, it's super special. For
those of us who have not experienced this and kind of want to know a little bit about what that reaction is that you get from people who are there, you know, like Tommy just talked about the transformative nature of it. What are some of the things that people have told you when the week is over about what they experienced?
Oh, I've had people like they're like, have told me they've seen God in the mountain. You know what I mean? And it's like, they're going to go be a better person when they go home. You know, this is something just like, man, I needed this. This is something that I was so unaware of in my life, you know, the community and just being a part of something, you know, and I would love to, you know, I've always said the solution is in the community, no matter where you are. And the community is you, the individual. It starts with you. It's not waiting for them or they to start something, you know, it begins with you, like with me, with anybody else, you know, and I'm a testament of it. I'm one person who's been doing something in the community every day for the past 24 years, and anybody can become that. It just takes relentless consistency. And a lot of people take that, they come in there, they want to go back and give, you know, because it's a really like a take world, you know, when you're out there, it's like, I got to get mine. You know, and it's like, but that's the most dysfunctional way to live. You know what I mean? When you teach people like, oh no, if you're giving back to the community and giving to people, that's the most natural state of human being. That's the highest level of living to me, that I understand when I watch people, when they can get into a place of just being just totally a part of giving, you know, that's a natural human, that's the healthiest place you could be, you know, because nothing but good comes from it.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, I was just going to say, like, man, there's something about, especially, I wrote about this in an article a couple of years ago after I got home, but there's something about once you start to get up the mountain a little bit, like, you know, in 2019, we started and we're kind of zigzagging on flats, and we touched a little bit of like fire road. And then there was a point where like some of like the local guys were just kind of like chilling there in a truck, and they're just kind of like, yep, point up the mountain. And you kind of look at, you're like, up that? And they're like, yeah, there's no trail there. It's just like, you know, roots and trees and stuff. And then they're like, now the race starts. And there was something very powerful about that, especially like spending all that time, you know, like you said, you're getting into the spirit and the understanding of giving. And then you kind of, you're left there with your thoughts a little bit, and you kind of strip down. You're kind of stripped down by that race by the end, and it's pretty powerful for sure.
Yeah, you face yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
The most powerful people are the ones that have gone through the most crushing scenarios in life. The ones that come out on the other side of it, because they speak a language that's so needed to be heard.
For sure. And where did the idea for the run specifically come up? Like when you started thinking about, okay, like we got to come up with a fundraiser, we got to find a way to help create something that is engaging and can support this. Like, how did the run and the idea for the run and going up through the mountain and everything like that come to life?
So it was like, I have a good friend, Bertram Almeida. He's the one that overtakes, and we grew up together over here. And he's like a little older than me. He was like an uncle, and I was just sitting around with him one day, and he's had some struggles, and I've helped, and I was just telling him, Matt, I got to do something to try and raise them. I'm just trying to think of it. He's all, dude, just do a run on this property.
Mm-hmm.
I oversee the whole property. And I was like, what, really? And then, for me, that was hard, it's like, because it's a big ordeal, it's like, there's so many times I remember, like, and I was like, okay, Greg said, okay. So I made a flyer for the very first one. And I sat with that flyer for like 2 to 3 weeks before I posted it. And I was just like, and I battle. I'm just like, dude, you can't do this, and I'm going to do it, going back and forth with like the two people that are in my head. There's the ones that telling me I can't do it, I won't do it, I suck, I this, I that. And then there's the other one on the other side just saying, just do it. And I usually go with that one all the time. But it's like, but that battle's there in everything I do. And then the one day I posted it, I just posted the thing up, and I was just like, oh, here we go. And my friends said, oh, he's doing a run. I was like, yeah, and blah, blah, blah. And we went in it, and dude, like 3 or 4 days out before the run was there, it was like I had a $60,000-$70,000 into this thing with the luau's and all that. I had like 12 people signed up. I was freaking out. I was just like, and they're like, and my friends all, don't worry, they all sign up the day of the race. I was like, well, that's good to know. And everybody's asking me, oh, how's it going? I'm like, is there a lot of people signed up? I'm like, oh yeah, there's choke. There's so many guys signed up. You should go sign up. Like, I was like, these 12 guys are gonna have the best luau ever. All to themselves. But then we had like 400 people, and
wow.
And it just kind of organically, these things I'll get like a vision of something, like something will tell me I need to open a gym here. I need to go here. I need to go. And I've it's always scary, but I've trusted that I have such a huge bank account of faith and experiences that have always been successful. And I've got, that it's not hard for me to trust my instincts, because I know my heart's in the right place, and good things come from it, and it's, that's why these things happen,
For sure.
And I have a great team, if the guys are all on the same page, and they, they always are just like, oh crap, what's he thinking of, what's he thinking of? They're like, hit the brakes. I'm like, no, step on the gas. But it's a good balance, you know what I mean? You need hit the brakes. It's a good balance, and it's and it's like our team, we struggle together, but we always are so transparent with each other that we're not afraid to have hard conversations with us. That's the only way we've survived. It's like the people who couldn't like create that transparency and talk about what they're feeling about, they just fall to the wayside, and they can't hang with this thing, because it's so powerful. This program and it's so powerful that it requires nothing but transparency in every area of the whole foundation. It has to be. There cannot be no shady little darkness, or because it's like cancer, and that's how we've been able to survive. We just have a really solid, transparent team where we can just sit there like, Aaron, you just need to just shut up. Like, oh, that hurts when you hear that.
Yeah.
But then it's the truth, and the truth always stings, but you heal from it, Lies just keep breaking you down and makes everything fall. That makes the wheels fall off.
For sure.
Dealing with the stuff that you have to deal with on a daily basis with people with addictions and the problems that they have, I'm sure you see a lot of bad, and I'm sure you suffer a lot of defeats, but what are the victories that you've experienced that keep you coming back day after day?
Oh, like the other night I had 2 kids that we sent them off to, I helped some families get their kids off to a camp, and they were both over here. And I got to watch these two kids just a 13-year-old and an 18-year-old that were just thriving. They have their life back there. You know what I mean? And I have, I mean, hundreds, if not thousands of families over the past 24 years on this island and all over the world have been, you know, I know tons of them that are sober, that got, you know, and it's, that's what keeps me going, is I know that this thing works and it produces results. It's not something I can put down on paper because it's really personal. These are like families that trust me with the darkest things, you know what I mean? So I can't be, oh, this family, blah, blah, you know, so that's one of the hardest parts of this, is being able to show that side of it, because I deal with people's lives and they trust me with their private lives. And it's, but I get to see, like, I'll get people walk up to me out of the blues and just say, hey, you know, you helped my son. Thank you so much. And I get kids like that are like 20 years old now. They walk up there, hey, uncle, thank you for getting me that job, or, you know, giving me the place to stay, or letting me live with you, or, you know, it's constantly, there's that side of it too, that's always there in my face, along with the tragic stuff. So there's a balance there, but sometimes the heavy stuff is what, you know, it'll get to me, because it's
sure.
It just hurts to see that, you know. I got to learn to compartmentalize it, and just when that comes up, I deal with that, and then put it on the shelf, and then deal with life. And then, you know, and it took a long time to understand how to do that.
Yeah.
You know, you deal with really like I deal with child abuse and with kids that are in levels like that are just, you want to go there and shoot the dad or the uncles or whatever, you know what I mean? It's just like stuff that's like, you know, and I gotta absorb that and try to become a solution for that.
Yeah.
They're coming to me, you know, and it's, but it's an honor to be able to be that type of person. You know, it's like, I don't think I've ever turned anybody away that needed help.
Yeah.
I can't recall. I've always picked up my phone, and I've always made myself available. And it's cool when when the lights go on, I will tell you, there's no better than that.
Yeah.
When somebody gets it, like they're a threat to the darkness in the community, you know?
Yeah. It's one of the things I wanted to touch on about, like, one of the programs that kind of caught my eye last time was the jiu-jitsu program. It's something that I actually train here in California, but I was curious, why jiu-jitsu, and what do you think some of the benefits have been through like that discipline for including that?
Well, the jiu-jitsu for me, it's always been like, the main thing is having the good people in front of these kids, the right people. And it's another alternative that these kids can go to and, you know, and get taught discipline and all the good things, you know. It's just being there instead of on the beach, getting loaded.
Yeah.
You know, having their self-esteem be built up instead of slowly being deteriorated down there by something that looks attractive, you know. So that the more environments we have over here, the better chance we have at winning. And
jiu-jitsu, I've had to learn, like, you have this fully like laid out CrossFit program, but then jiu-jitsu brings more like family involvement and like the lineage that I just think it's an older, an art. And over here, it's, people love it. And I think it's really good. It's obviously good discipline. It teaches really good values. It does go back to, you know, who are we putting in front of the kids? Who's available that wants to give back to the kids?
Number one right there.
But for jiu-jitsu, it's cool to see families rolling together, right? Like dad and kids are at it together and seeing each other be vulnerable in situations and learn something new and not be great and advance and progress in that. So,
yeah.
And I have a lot of good friends over here that are great at jiu-jitsu, but they smoke weed and they drink and stuff like that. And it's just like, I can't have that in front of the kids because that's not what I'm about, you know, because I know the destruction that comes from them looking up to somebody, you know. I mean, I used to look up to these great surfers and they were all just, you know, a lot of them are dead now from suicide, drug overdose. It's like, and it's crazy. And it's like, but then like also like the Kekaha is the west side of the island, which is a very local, they're also very sports orientated. So all the families come, they bring their car and it's an environment that really attracts the family to it. a little more than the CrossFit does.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like it's like soccer mom and dad. Like they set up their picnic chair and they're in it. Even the CrossFit class, it's like they'll come and we expect like a drop off and then leave and then come get them later, or they walk home. We never meet parents, or in some cases we don't meet parents, and they'll sit there and just they want to be a part of. It's really wild. It's a small island, but the cultures in towns are so different. Like out in Keala, it feels like they want to be a part of their kids' lives. They just don't know how. They've never really been provided the opportunity to watch their kid have a free program to even know they know how to do CrossFit or jiu-jitsu.
No, and they find out it's free too. Like I came in, I took the boat around some friends to the Napali. I came in and I seen this guy who was bringing the boat out. I was like, "Hey, uncle, how you doing?" He's like, "Oh, cool." I'm like, "Oh, you finally got the boat running." And it was sitting out on Keala on the side of the road for so long. And I was like, "Yeah." And then he had his kid. I'm like, "Hey, why don't you bring your kid out to the gym out in Keala?" He's like, "Oh, you the guy?" And I was like, yeah. So just come out there and bring your kid. And he's like, "How much is it?" I'm all, "It's free." He's like, "What?" Yeah. Oh, yeah, free. He's like, "Well, I get 2 more." I'm all, bring them all 5. Bring them all. You know, and then they're so thankful. And I explained and they're like, "Man, we're so thankful for that. Thank you so much." And that's to like everybody who supports that.
Yeah.
You know, I get to go there and offer that because there's so many people behind this. It's like, I'm just one person in this. And I always I'm no better than any of you guys right now who are doing this podcast. You know, we're all equal in this, moving this community forward, you know, and that's the way it should be. This isn't my program. Everybody who takes part of it is all of our program, you know, and it's so healthy that way.
And for people who would like to get involved or learn more about what you do, where and how is the best way for them to go about doing that?
All right. Instagram, awesome. The links in bios, Keala Foundation or Ultimate Hawaiian Trail Run, or Uncle Hoffy has some great content too. And he's it. You can go to those websites, kealafoundation.com, ultimatehawaiiantrailrun.com. And particularly in this season, you can sign up for the race, and that's on September 18th, 2021. We are launching a virtual registration as well in about 2 weeks, end of July. And we just realized the community that can be a part of from home and still feel like they're making a difference in fundraising and getting a bib number mailed to them that shows I'm a part of this, again, just as much as you are on island. And so you can sign up for either on island or virtual. You can donate to any fundraising page. I'm currently the top staff fundraiser right now. It's great.
Ooh, she
like a challenge.
She looked like that.
Because I'm not on there yet.
It's because I made an eagle. I use my skills, which I didn't really share about the expectation for this year. You know, we have a few golfers on our staff, and we're going to host a golf tournament in the week of the trail run.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so I won a bet. I got an eagle, chip-in eagle, and I got a very nice contribution to my fundraising page. So just use what you got, and you'll fundraise. So sign up, donate to anyone's fundraising page, or just donate to the foundation through that campaign or through Keala Foundation. You can sign up, but realize, wow, you know what? I don't really want to run, but I am so good at this. You can volunteer on island. You can volunteer in kids classes. You can volunteer for the run. We need all the support. And most importantly, you can share it. You can share it with a neighbor. You can share with someone who you really think wants to go to Kauai or wants to participate or has a similar story that they know that their impact, they'll feel amazing knowing they're supporting a program like us. And, yeah,
we'll keep you guys posted too. I usually do a fundraiser after the race, and it's always like something that would just like torture me.
It's crazy. It was a separate event last year.
Yeah, so I had Dan Bailey, Tasia, Bickle, and then a bunch of other friends. We walked Oscar and Juan. We walked all the way down to 70 miles, dude. It was brutal.
Wow.
You think I went in there like Chris Hinshaw was telling me, yeah, this is what's going to happen. I'm like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. It's just walking.
It was so.
And then it was brutal. My toes, my everything, but I made it. We made it. And we raised a good chunk of money to like offset what we didn't. But then the next one we're going to do. No, it's going to be the beginning of next year because we got to go out probably like February or March. You guys are welcome to come if you want. We're going to walk from Hanalei to Haiena, and then we're going to paddle down the Nepali coast and then walk all the way to cross the Kekaha. So it's like
to complete it. So when you walk the island, the road only goes from Kekaha all the way around to the North Shore. And so he ended at Hanalei, but it doesn't go all the way around. For those of you that have not been to Hawaii, there's the Nepali coast. There's no road. And
I'm a little nervous on that one.
I'll be in the helicopter.
I'm not going to just go into it like I did. I'm not going to try doing it. I'm not going to talk to Hinshaw because he'll know exactly how to because he was right.
I'd rather have my little delusion of
I'm just gonna go. No, it's gonna be easy. It's just a quick swim and a little walk.
Oh, good.
But just to be said on that too, like it was announced as Aaron Hoff's going to walk the island, right? He's going to walk around the island, and this is his personal goal and his personal challenge. And what happened was that there was an average of like 17 people with him at all times. It turned into like a safety hazard at some point. And
they got clipped by a car
and reflectors, and it
gnarly.
It just
wasn't the wisest thing.
It was nuts. And there were 7 of them that did the whole thing. Never got in a vehicle and from start to finish. And it just shows you that the more that you allow someone to come in and be a part of your goal and your vision and what you support and what you wholeheartedly want to help see change in, like more people will come alongside you. And
there was no plan. They were driving them nuts. Like, what's the plan? Well, there's no plan. Dropped off.
As we go.
Start walking.
It's like, what do you want to eat? We'll eat at a gas station. I'll bring a credit card, Sarah. Everything is one road.
I didn't know about baby powder. You need baby powder.
Oh, yeah.
But then, but it was cool because the community came out and the whole way, everything we needed, the community met us there all the way to the end. Like it was like we needed and reflector vests at night because we were in the dark, and then they showed up. We needed coconut water. It showed up. We needed this. It was so cool.
Epic.
That's fantastic.
What does that make? Like, I think that moves the count to like 8 times you've almost killed Dan Bailey.
Oh yeah.
He's got stripes on his half stick shirt. Captain. Star captain.
It's with his little size 5 shoe.
He's adorable.
Oh man.
He had a heavy backpack. He kept everything he flew here with him at all times.
Oh man.
He told me, I'll walk it with you, but we got to pack everything we're doing. I'm like, I got there. I was like, nope, not going to happen.
Well, at first Dan's like, this is not survival. Like we get an auntie is meeting us every 800 yards to give us another peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like I got everything I need in my bag.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, I got to pack this 40-pound head.
By the end, I get it.
Oh, I love it.
Well, Sarah, Aaron, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Thank you for everything you're doing in your local community, and best of luck with everything this year with the Ultimate Hawaii Trail Run. And we really appreciate you taking the time to stop by and talk to us.
Thanks for doing this with us too.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, we'll be in touch for sure.
Mahalo.
Yeah. We'll see you guys September 18th.
Oh yeah. Right. Bet on it.